Done.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shipriyo, and I would like to welcome you all at IIHM Expert Session. So, our today's guest at IIHM Studio is a very well-known personality in hospitality industry, having 20 plus years of experience working with a brand like Oberoi, Hilton, and currently he's working with Park Hyatt as an executive chef. And the most importantly, he's a very, very good friend of IIHM, and he is none other than Chef Yogender Pal. So, welcome, Chef, to IIHM Expert Session.
Thank you, Supriyo.
So today, Chef, we are going to discuss about the topic, which is the new ways that chefs are connecting to empower themselves and improve their community. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our topic for today's discussion, and over to you, Chef.
So, Supriyo, thank you very much for having me over to share my views on this interesting topic. Um, as we all know that the internet and the digital platforms have suddenly become extremely important. I mean, they were always important, even pre-COVID, but their importance has been underlined now even more during this COVID time, during the lockdown and the other in past few months. So empowering chefs, if you see my communication, I can talk about myself. My communication with my peers and my colleagues or or my team members has become extremely important because day to day, a face to face connection probably is that opportunity was not there for a very long time, and suddenly everybody's discovered, like I told you, the internet and the other digital platforms. So for us, one of the most important ways which I communicate with my peers is through WhatsApp, and that flow of information on WhatsApp or sometimes on the phone will maybe more than talking on the phone. Also, it's the WhatsApp, and also how we've started. A lot of vendors have actually started approaching us virtually, and the tours which we used to for a particular vendor's site, if we had to do going there physically and all, now it's all happening virtually. So for chefs, to empower themselves, these platforms have become extremely important. There is more flow of information. There is more flow of information, which interaction between the other amongst the other chefs, that which talent is available or which is not available, which guy to hire, is there anybody whom I can hire if there is a vacancy, or if I want to recommend something, the sourcing of ingredients. If I see something on a chef's page on Instagram, for example, and I find it interesting, I send a message to him that where did you get this stuff from? I also need this. So all these small things, are adding up a lot to for us to empower the chefs in the sense that where do you get your resources from? That is only one part. The other part is the exposure for the chefs. A lot of chefs and a lot of, I mean, for that matter, a lot of boom chefs also have started their YouTube channels, or the other ways which they through which they can express or showcase their talents to a lot of to members of public. So these these ways have helped the chefs to really come forth. And also I think the awareness about being a chef was always at a high even during pre-COVID era. But during the COVID times and after, now that the lockdown is open, the if you say that you're a chef, or if you aspire to become a chef, or if you have an interest in cooking, has also gained more significance.
Uh,
Then we are good to go.
yes, Chef.
Yeah, so I think during this time, suddenly the importance of communicating through internet, other channels, and seeing what other people are doing, and seeing what is available has suddenly made the chefs community more empowered. And also the significance or the importance of food and beverage has come more to the forth, in whether it is a freestanding restaurant or a hotel restaurant. Because if you see, after the lockdown has opened up, uh, the food and beverage establishments, the restaurants are really ramping up. I mean, they are leading the way to the recovery in the hospitality industry. So which makes the feel chefs even more good about them, that their food or their craft is being appreciated. And we are the drivers of the revival, for the tourism and the restaurant business, or for the for the hotels.
Mhm. Absolutely, Chef. In that note, I mean, I really wanted to ask you because you already said couple of area like for procurement and everything. So there is a huge change that we all are actually seeing in the industry. So, suppose if you look into like 10 years back, people used to remember a restaurant on the name of the restaurant of the brand, but today's generation, the way the chefs are into digital platform and the social media, people visit a restaurant or a hotel by knowing the chef because
Correct.
it's a Chef Yogi's restaurant or it's Chef Yogi will be there or something like that. So
Right.
how it's creating a huge impact. I mean, I wanted to know your reaction about it, how it's impacting the business, just being into digital platform.
I'll give you an example. When I was in one of my previous hotels, and we had opened the hotel newly, so we were looking to get some weddings to our hotel, and there were around 4 weddings which came because the bride and the bridegroom were my Instagram followers. So they had seen the stuff which I used to put up. So they came, okay, no, we will come here and get the wedding done. And then we ultimately did those weddings. Everything worked out. The commercials worked out. So that is one example as to how important all these platforms have become, and how it makes the chef, or the chef feel that he is the one who's drawing in the business. So it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel really appreciated, that the one, that people recognize your work. And the other part is that you also are contributing directly to not only delivering the business, but also getting the business to you, which is the first step. Yeah.
So yeah, so here I just wanted to go to the next question. What is there in my mind right now? So today's young chefs, I mean the people who are joining industry very recently, so they are more into the entrepreneurship. They're more into starting something their own. They, as you said, they start their own YouTube channels. They start their own Instagram pages and all. So how? I mean, I wanted to know your reaction about it. I mean, is it actually supporting the business or I mean, it's over to you. I mean, I just wanted to know, I mean, how you look into this one.
So if you're getting into this by on the fact, based on the premise that one day you'll have your own restaurant and all, so it's a good thing to start your own channel or your own Instagram page, and then showcase what you want to, whatever you're doing, and your aspirations. But one thing which you always, I mean, I always advise the youngsters is that please make sure that you also learn. Don't just get lost in the fancy plating and all, because as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the taste. So once, okay, yes, I agree that you eat with your eyes first, but then the second step, the real test, is when you put it on your tongue. So that basic knowledge has to be there. But yes, if you know that you're going to start something of your own, it is really good to have your page, or be out in the social media right from day one, or as early as possible, because it will help you to really kick off your business and leap into that. Otherwise, when you open your restaurant, then you are making, or you're setting up, but by the time you come around to opening your restaurant or your own, executing your own idea, you, if you have done that before, maybe a couple of years ago when you were already working, you already have covered some ground. So it's a good idea, I mean, I would say. But yes, make sure that you learn first also.
Right, right. So I think you already answered, but maybe I can ask this question again. Maybe you can share a little more elaborate way. So this generation, when so being a hospitality education provider, so there are a lot of students. They join hospitality industry. They join a hotel management college, keeping in their mind that they wanted to start their restaurant. They're very sure that they wanted to start their restaurant. So any suggestion, anything that you wanted to jot down and share with our students, that what are the different pointers that they have to look into, being a student or being a very fresh in the industry.
So I think if you are very clear about from about what you want to do right from day one, you should make sure one should make sure that they have really understood what exactly they will do, whether they'll be in the front of the house or whether they'll be at the back of the house. Okay, so depending upon their choice, they need to start making points and studying and trying to get as much information when they are at the college, or if they are during during their industrial exposure, or whatever 1 or 2 years or 3 years of stint which they want to do, is that basically you need to also be very strong about the numbers. Okay, whether you are a chef or you aspire to become a manager, or you want to become a restaurant owner from a perspective of being a front of the house guy and not back of the house chef. So either ways, you have to have a very strong grip on your numbers. The second thing is, you need to have if you are a chef, then you need to know what is good food. I mean, in fact, both the sides, they need to know what is good food, even the front of the house and back of the house, so that you can identify what is not going right when you open your restaurant. And ultimately, it is a food which will bring people to your restaurant, along with the good service and ambience. But first, people will remember you for the food, because we have so many examples where small joints or hole in the wall type of places which serve excellent food, but not are not very great to look at, or as a location. So we all know and we all have our favorites. So we should remember that the numbers, the technicality, what product you are serving, be very sure about the quality. And the third part is learn how to handle a good team, because you will, as a chef also, you will not be there 24 hours running your restaurant or cooking in that restaurant. And as a manager also, you'll not be forever 24 hours standing there, standing and trying to control, because there'll be times when you will not be there. So at that time, your team has to really support you. So take care of your team and train them well. So I think these
Right.
are the few things which I would suggest to the youngsters who are starting out.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is the part. I know, apart from your being into digital platform and being running a page or everything, these are the basic things that I think everybody needs to work on in
Yeah.
order to a successful chef or starting your own restaurant or whatever it is. So in that point, I would come to the last questions for today's discussion. So, Chef, I'm sure you have heard about Young Chef Olympiad, and IIHM is organizing Young Chef Olympiad since last 6 years, right?
Yeah.
And this is world's biggest culinary competition. And last year also we have hosted around 60 countries. They all came to India. The entire thing been done by IIHM, and the team were traveling from one city to another city for different rounds for their competition. But this is the seventh year, and for the very first time, we are doing this kind of event in a virtual platform. We have more than 50 countries this year. They're participating in a completely virtual platform. So I really wanted to understand, or I really wanted to know from your opinion or your reaction, that how IIHM is creating a platform for young generation or young chefs, and how IIHM is spreading hospitality across the globe.
So, Supriyo, what I think is that, I've been following this competition very closely for the last few years. And I think it's a wonderful platform which is given to the young, aspirants, and, people who want to get into cooking and want to take up culinary as a profession. And it really, once when you, so the chefs, they are all driven by passion. So this is one platform which instantly kicks, how should I say, peps you up and gets you going. And all the young chef aspirants, I'm sure their minds would start working overtime when they see that a young chef Olympiad is coming up, and what should I do? How can I be out of box? Whether they win in that or not, but I'm sure a lot of people, this competition lights up the spark in them, in their minds, and forces them to think out of the box and be different from everybody. And that is what these competitions do. They pep you up, and you are all pumped up and thinking that, okay, I'll go and take part in that. This thing or this technique, I'm sure nobody would be using. And for example, every participant from different countries would be trying to pick up something unique, or maybe use a traditional technique, in the end, making sure that the culture, food is a very big part of anybody's culture. So that is highlighted, those techniques are highlighted, and in the end preserving those techniques and keeping them alive. Otherwise it's very easy to get lost in today's world, and of fast food and sandwiches and burgers. So this competition, I think, provides that platform. And not only this, even during your 12 months of your operation, I've seen that you guys always come up with unique concepts. So it is very, like, for example, I attended that dinner at your college, which was inspired by Anthony Bourdain's dishes, classic dishes, and the other one, and the style of service and all. So I think all these are very, very unique concepts which you guys come up with. And I have seen a lot of colleges who don't do that type of stuff, and it is all just run of the mill stuff, and it's all about making money or this thing. But with you guys, you can sense that you are actually trying to make an effort to tell the boys and girls who come to your college that this is how it happens. And it's a nice blend of traditional, classic, and the foundation which you teach, and also keeping their mind open to whatever is happening in the world out now. So it's a very nice blend, and I really commend you guys for that. And and more power to you guys.
Yes, thank you so much, Chef. Thank you so much for taking our time and join this discussion. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. And thank you so much, Chef. See
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Thank